This is the Washington Post, the Sunday, June 5th, 2011 edition. I'm looking at the article, As Slutty as We Want to Be, The New Feminists. There's a picture there. You're reading this article, I was really dismayed. I see young women wanting more respect for their gender, and that's beautiful. That's all fine and well. But I feel as if these women are going about it the wrong way. Or at least they're focusing on things that, in the long term, don't really help women. I feel as if they've been exploited, these women, over time. Women have always been exploited. And unfortunately, I feel with this recent turn of events that all they're really trying to do, all they're really accomplishing, is controlling their own exploitation. If you look at this, if you look at these women, they look like hookers. I mean, just to be honest, if we saw them on the street, if they weren't in mass, they would look like hookers. And unfortunately, I don't believe looking like a hooker is the way that a woman receives respect or should demand respect in a society. I'm not saying that women shouldn't have respect or get respect or get... For example, instead of these young women protesting their right to dress like hookers, they should be protesting and demanding equal pay in the workforce. I don't believe dressing like this, walking down the middle of the street, is really going to help pay the pay gap. Is really going to defeat the glass ceiling. It always befuddles me to watch women in Western society demand these sort of rights like this, being as slutty as they want to be. I read the article, so the entire context of this article is about young women, and the article says more than 75 cities, with events planned in more than 75 cities and countries from the United States and Canada to Sweden and South Africa. I always find it funny when women in Western culture are demanding rights such as these, or flexing their right, such as because they already have the right to dress as they want, such as these, when you have women in third world countries, or in India, for example, who are fighting against mutilation, or are being killed, and yet the women in the Western society are upset because they can't walk down the street dressed like a Victoria's Secret model. That's insane. To me, that just blows my mind. That blows my mind each and every time. It almost seems like this whole thing. It says the protest began after a police officer told students at Toronto's York University in January that if women want to avoid rape, they shouldn't dress like sluts. Now, I believe the cop was out of line for saying that, but I think it's interesting that in society we hold one's body as sacred, or actually I shouldn't say that. We hold one's body as its own personal property. I feel as long as your body or you are not, your right to hold your own body as your own person, to do what you want with it, is not harming or coming in conflict with someone else's life, then you're free to do what you want. A woman is free to walk down the street dressed, non-dressed, how she wants to be, how she wants to present herself for the day. As the writer said, yes, some women dress in short, tight, suggestive clothing, maybe because it's hot outside, maybe because it's the style du jour, or maybe just because they think they look sexy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And in a way, I agree. I actually do think there's something wrong with that, but it is the right as an American citizen to dress as you want. And they are correct to say that a man should not use that as a reason to rape a woman. As a matter of fact, in the picture here, there's a beautiful sign that says, "My clothes are not my consent." And that's great, that's right. A woman's clothing, no matter how provocative it may seem, is never consent to molest her, harass her, rape her, do her any harm. That is absolutely correct. Just as it's correct that stealing is never right. If you see a rich man walking down the street, you have no reason, no right to harm him or take his money or steal from him just because he's rich and he can get it back. But I do think that it would be foolish for that rich man to walk down the street with his arms full of bundles of bags of money and expect people not to look twice, and expect not one or two desperate people who are down the luck, broke, whatever, to try to challenge him for his money. Now, is it right? No, it's not right. But in the same way, if a woman holds her body as valuable, then she shouldn't flaunt it like that. You see what I'm saying? Just as the rich man, if he holds his money as valuable, he doesn't put it in your face and tempt you with it. And I feel as if there's a difference between dressing for the weather and dressing for sex. These girls that you see, these women that you see dressed, they're not dressed for the weather, they're dressed for sex. And I think to walk around and to believe that you can interact with people any way that you want and expect not expect a certain reaction from them. You cannot. It's almost like slapping someone in the face and expecting them just because you're a woman. So, and the article also says, it quotes one of the signs, don't tell us how to dress, tell men not to rape. And I still feel as if women were more respectful of themselves, then they would get more respect in society. Now, not all women, of course. I can't just say all women. I'm referring to the ones in the picture here. Again, I think if you give opportunity, you know someone's going to break the law. You know that women are going to get raped regardless. I've seen in society where women who are dressed like nuns practically still get hoots and hollers, still, get unwanted advances from drunken guys or sober guys. I've seen it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. That is, just like crime is going to happen. It's just, unfortunately, it's the world that we live in. But I think to kind of egg it on, to kind of give it more reason, to kind of not better protect your valuables, yourself, doesn't mean that you have to dress like a nun. As I just said, that even women dressed like nuns still get catcalls. So it's not going to stop. But as the rich man, as the person with something valuable, I don't believe it is wise to flaunt that valuable thing and then point only to the robber as the person at fault. You do not leave your house at night with the doors wide open. Putting a simple lock on it is enough. But if a person wants to get in the house, they're going to kick down the door. And if a person wants to rape, they're going to rape. But to just leave that door wide open for a passerby who otherwise would not bother your home with the perfect invitation, I think is irresponsible of these young women. And their fight is misguided. I understand their passion, but the aims is misguided. There are other women out there who suffer much more and who have a much better need of your direction. No, I put it better. Who have much better need of the attention that you get. By walking down the street dressed like that, you get attention. And there are women in third world countries who can't vote, can't drive, and yet the Western woman, she wants to show her thong in the middle of the street. That's her oppression. Or the Western woman, she doesn't worry about that she doesn't get paid as much as a man. Or at least in this picture, they're more worried about showing their cleavage. That's unfortunate. I think it's misguided. The article also says that, the writer, she says that slut walks have struck me as the future of feminism. That strikes me as sad. That says that the future of feminism is dead. It's just all about Victoria's Secret now. It's all about women exploiting themselves because they look like porn actresses. Now women look like, in this picture, they look as if their only concern is being able to dress like for bed. They look like they're dressed like rap videos. And we know the kind of respect that women in rap videos get. Or we know the kind of respect that hip-hop shows women. And this is what Western women want? To be treated like they're in a hip-hop video? They want to reclaim the word slut? That's like blacks going around trying to reclaim the word nigger. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. You cannot reclaim such a negative word. So many people have died and have been hurt, have been killed from that word. And now you want to reclaim it as something empowering by dressing like a prostitute. No. I say no. Just as the Negro cannot reclaim the word nigger, the woman cannot reclaim the word slut. Because it's in its creation, in its very purpose, is a negative word to put a person down just because they are black or because they are a woman. And now you want to make it something positive by pandering to that very word, by becoming that very word. No. The article says slut walks aren't a perfect form of activism. Some feminist critics think that by attempting to reclaim the word slut, the organizers are turning a blind eye to the many women who don't want to salvage what they see as an irredeemable term. So there you have it. Slut walks, which are young women dressed as the pictures show with signs. It's a very good cause for women not to be raped, for them not to blame the victim, because in no circumstances does a woman want to be raped or is inviting a rape. But I do believe that a woman who cares about herself and those around her will do more to discourage her being seen as a sex item. Again, I say this does not give cause for dressing as a nun, but I do think that one does not leave their door open at night. The rich man does not walk around with money in his pockets, and the woman should not walk around with her breasts hanging out. Just inviting someone to come along and take it.